Amy Pascal versus Kevin Feige, the real reason for Sony's Spider-Verse, today on The Minute. Well, all right. Welcome once again. Here we are at another episode of The Minute. I am here as always. My name is Sam. Today I'm here with
Aaron,
a new voice in the Movie Night Autopsy community. But anyways, today we are here to talk about some stuff that Sony is doing. They are doing an awful lot of things. They're in relation to Spider-Man, but Spider-Man isn't actually involved in literally any of it.
well, I think the use of the word awful in that sentence was perfect because what they're doing is, in my opinion, really poor planning, really...
They're throwing all their eggs in this basket.
Super short-sighted. I really don't understand this decision.
And they're really going all in on Venom being a hit, which, you know, it very well might be. But like the trailer reaction has been pretty lukewarm.
I kind of felt lukewarm about it. It looks interesting enough, entertaining enough, and I do love Tom Hardy. So
I love Tom Hardy. But I mean, like Mad Max Fury Road. Come on.
I don't want to watch a Venom movie without Spider-Man.
If you're gonna make a movie about one of the Rogues Gallery characters in the Spider-Man universe, Venom's a good one to go with. But to make that movie without, like, I don't know, just like if Marvel was doing this, he would be the bad guy in a Spider-Man movie, and then he would still be around at the end of the movie, and then maybe you would see him in his own movie, and he would be the anti-hero in that. I would believe that. I'd buy that. But like, and I'm interested in this, and I mean, to be fair, the effects do look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the symbiote does look good.
Yeah.
But just I have no idea like what direction they're going in.
Well, especially once you just mentioned it's not even going to be a hard R movie, or it might not be, depending on how they want to push it.
Because that news actually dropped this morning. That Sony is pushing for a PG-13 rating, as opposed to the hard R that we were all under the impression that it was going to have. It was going to take kind of like that horror element and kind of follow in the footsteps of Logan and Deadpool.
And really, that's the only thing that intrigued me about it to begin with. The possibility.
Honestly, it wasn't the only thing that intrigued me, but I was very disappointed to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm much less interested in the movie. I'll probably still end up seeing it, but I'm not going to be in a hurry.
I might just out of curiosity, but I'm not exactly excited about it. And
I'm definitely not excited about it.
And
I mean, there's so much cringe in this, especially the second trailer.
Yeah,
it's like there was a progression. First, they dropped the teaser.
Yeah,
and the teaser it literally
I only
was
saw the teaser.
It was just a teaser. It was just, you know, it was mostly Tom Hardy as Tom Hardy, and you would just see little bits of the symbiote.
Yeah,
and then the trailer was, a lot of it was stuff from the teaser, but with more symbiote stuff. You got a better look at Venom himself.
Gotcha.
And then this most recent trailer, we watched that one together. You see a lot of Venom, and again, Venom looks really good, but so much cringe.
I think the essential problem with it is they're hedging their bets on getting Spider-Man back, and either they're going to get Tom Holland Spider-Man, or they're going to reboot him for a third time.
I'd have to look that up specifically. I think that if they want to bring in Spider-Man to, like, even after the MCU deal that they have, they would have to recast him. They wouldn't be allowed to use the Tom Holland portrayal.
So I can't imagine
like I've heard that before.
I can't imagine us looking at like a fourth Spider-Man in, less than 2 decades.
Yo, seriously, like barely more than 15 years.
That's the thing. I feel like they should have just given it up to, Disney a while ago. Like Fox has already given in, and now we can get the X-Men. And
well, Fox, it was like an alt-right sale of the intellectual property.
Yeah.
Sony doesn't want to do that. And Sony, they do enough things other than just make movies that, I mean, I guess they could do the same thing and just keep everything else but sell off their movie division, but I don't see that happening.
Well, that's the thing. Their movie division is failing horribly.
They've been making a lot of bad decisions lately. I don't have that stuff in front of me, but just a total opinion. Yeah, they've been
Ghostbusters 3.
Oh God. We're not getting into that one. We are not touching that.
All right.
No, we're not going to be those guys today. Maybe another day, not today. And the thing about it, the cringiest moments of the trailer are taken from the comics, like the lungs pancreas line. So many snacks, like that's a line from the comics.
Yeah.
And there's the crew of people that are just like, hey, they're being true to the character. And then there's the other group of people that's just like, yeah, but that doesn't really work on screen. That's the thing about an adaptation. Like you can't just take everything directly from the comics. That's why in the original X-Men movies they're wearing black leather, because that looked good on screen.
Yeah.
They would have looked silly in the year 2000 running around on screen in yellow spandex. That would have been too much. That would have been the Fantastic Four of its time. But no, seriously, that's what they're doing. They're really hoping for Venom to be a huge success, and they're going for a PG-13 rating just so that they can broaden the demographic, because more people can go see the movie if it's PG-13.
And that's so short-sighted, because there's such a market for adults that want to go see comic book movies. I don't know why they keep falling on the idea that we have to market to children to make it a comic book movie.
And this isn't even, I mean, it's a PG-13 movie, so kids can go see it, but really they just want it to, they just don't want to ostracise 16-year-olds that want to go and see it.
Deadpool proved that is completely short-sighted concept.
And Deadpool 1 did better than Logan, but Logan did very well.
Well, it deserved to. It was a great movie.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of just like quality of film, just dear God, Logan is so good.
Yeah.
But they are really hoping that this movie does well. Let's talk about what they have slated after this movie. Like this movie that hasn't even dropped yet. It drops in early October.
Yeah.
And what they already have in the works, the farthest along sounds like Morbius, the living vampire. They got Jared Leto slated to play Morbius, which
that's worked out.
I mean, yeah, I'm not a like, I don't know. He's just so hit and miss. Like he's done things that I like, but then he's also the worst Joker ever.
He was great American Psycho.
He's just the worst Joker ever. But at the same time, that's not really his fault. That's like a writing thing.
Yeah.
But he from what I was reading earlier, it sounds like he signed on to the Morbius movie because he was a fan of the script and he likes what they do with the character, and he was really disappointed. Like he was famously disappointed. Like there was a whole thing about it. People talked about it with how the Joker ended up being portrayed in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So he probably took this role because he likes the script and he wants to do something with it. That's what I mean.
The way I feel about it is, if Venom ends up being good, if these end up being good movies and they can somehow finagle themselves into a fourth Spider-Man reboot that is not bad, I would like that. I would appreciate that. I just don't think they can.
Yeah, whenever you say fourth Spider-Man reboot, that's whenever I'm just like, I don't know if I can handle another Spider-Man reboot.
But I don't think they should, and I don't think they can, but I don't want it to not work, because right now, like, I don't know.
I don't know what I'm rooting for as far as this movie goes. I just know how I feel about what I've seen, and I'm not super optimistic. And here's the thing about Sony: they've done this exact thing before. This was what Amazing Spider-Man 2 was.
Yeah,
that movie was supposed to be huge, and then they were going to make a Sinister Six movie. Way back then, they were going to make the Silver and Black movie, which now that's being split into 2 solo movies. They've already announced that.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And then not only with this Morbius the Living Vampire with Jared Leto, but Kraven the Hunter has a writer now. They're moving so fast, and this movie hasn't even dropped yet. And let's be honest. The reason that they're doing all of this is because they want to build up a Spider-Man universe on their own, so that whenever their contract runs out with Marvel, they can say, "All right, Marvel, thank you very much. Appreciate your rebuilding the Spider-Man brand for us. Now we're going to put them in our movies." That's what they want to do. They want to stand toe-to-toe with the mouse, and you do not stand toe-to-toe with the mouse.
I've been thinking about this, and while that was my initial gut reaction to say, you don't fuck with Disney, they will destroy you and eat your soul in the end.
I know that there's a South Park episode about it, but that South Park episode it's accurate.
It is, but on the other hand,
vicious, man.
On the other hand, I've been thinking about it, and as Marvel is leaving Phase 3, Phase 4 looks a lot more unclear about exactly what they're going to do.
Oh, they gotta stay hush hush, man. They just acquisitioned all these characters.
They're losing a lot of actors, losing a lot of characters, and I don't know.
But they're also gaining the X-Men.
Yes, which is what I'm thinking, that they might not need Spider-Man if they got the X-Men. Maybe they, reboot.
They want Spider-Man, dude.
I know they do want Spider-Man.
They brought in Tom Holland because Tom Holland is 20 fucking years old, and they can have him play Spider-Man for 10 years.
They already got 2 more movies out of him, so we'll see how far it goes.
They want to see Spider-Man go from being the kid in high school to being like the Peter Parker that's running his own lab and building all this crazy spider tech that competes with the shit that Iron Man comes up with. That's what they want. That's what they want, man. That's where they want to go.
Well, do you think we could possibly see a future where we actually have two different Spider-Men existing
No.
simultaneously.
No. Either Marvel is going to lose control because just legally they aren't able to keep Spider-Man anymore, and Sony says no to the money, which would be so stupid. Unless Venom is just a runaway smash, and I mean, for all we know, it could be.
It really relies on that. That's
it
how I
really
feel
could
about
be.
it.
But if Venom is a runaway smash, and then like Morbius goes off without a hitch, and Jared Leto really pulls the fans in with him, and that's received well, and then they make a couple other movies, like if this Kraven the Hunter movie ends up being worth a damn, which I just don't know how it could be, then at that point, yeah, Marvel might not be able to throw enough money at Sony to convince them to keep letting them use Spider-Man. They might just say, no, fuck you, we've already got this shit set up over here, we're running with it.
I predict that Venom will be a reasonable hit, and then nothing after that will succeed.
I think it's going to open big, and I think what it does after that's going to depend on the quality of the movie. Because I'm not going to lie, man, like I really like Tom Hardy, but just listening to him, like the narration in that second trailer.
Yeah, oh my gosh. He
just
seems like he doesn't even care about that.
I'm Eddie Brock.
Yeah.
I'm a reporter.
He has no investment in that character.
I'll have Venom.
Yeah, it'll probably open big, like you said. It's probably going to open big just because
of the name recognition. And that's another thing. Like Venom is probably the most recognizable villain of the Rogues Gallery. And like as much as I love Kraven the Hunter, I promise you, like my next door neighbor doesn't know who Kraven the Hunter is.
Yeah, Venom is the one I could, that I would always say.
Well, Venom actually carried his own line of comics. Like he's had his own solo comics a couple times.
He kind of like works with Spider-Man at times too, doesn't he?
Like they definitely went that route.
Yeah.
Like I honestly haven't read a lot of the Venom solo comics. I've just kind of like seen some shit from him. It's my understanding that he just went like the anti-hero route.
Yeah.
Like he still is like eating people because he's Venom. That's what he does. But it's like there's a scene in one of the trailers where Eddie Brock is talking to the symbiote in his head, and he's like, if we're gonna do this, we can only hurt bad people, and that's kind of like where Eddie Brock lands, like as a character at some point. But just the character without Spider-Man, like how are they going to explain that? And that's another thing. I don't know what they're doing with the story. For all we know, it's going to be amazing, but I'm just so skeptical. Like the symbiote inhabits Spider-Man first. And that's how it gets certain qualities whenever it finds Eddie Brock.
Okay,
because it retains some of the DNA from their past hosts.
So that's all out of the. That doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm just trying to put it together, and I mean, for all we know, they just got like the dankest of the dank writers who was able to work that in and just be like, because reasons, fair enough.
Well, if it's good, I'll respect him for making a good movie.
If it's good, yeah, for sure. But
I have a feeling it's going to get bad reviews, and then the subsequent movies are going to get shelved, and they'll maybe put out 2 more of them and then just give it over to Disney. Because, why not at this point?
At that point, I mean, that would be, and we're talking like if Venom underperforms, not necessarily loses money, just doesn't make enough to justify launching an entire dark universe from Universal after The Mummy, then that's going to be the conversation that's going to be had. How stubborn are we going to be about this? Are we going to continue to just like write something against, like just bash something against the wall until we break it down? Or are we going to play ball with Disney, let them have control over these characters, and we'll rake in money because they're doing a good job with it?
Well, Disney's only going to do that for so long. Like, they had to do it just because I felt like, I guess they felt like it was important to have them in, Civil War and Infinity War and all that. So that's why they were willing to give them the box office so long as they had creative control, so they could like pull him into their movies when they wanted. But there's really no future in that for them. They're not going to make any money off them if they keep doing that. So I think it's going to come down to the point where they're like, look, guys, you obviously don't know how to do this. You don't know how to make movies. We obviously do. So just let us give you a bunch of money and we can just do it for you.
Well, if they're going to go that route, they're probably going to try to do the exact same thing they just did with Fox, where they bought the entertainment part of Fox.
Yeah.
They would probably try to do the same thing with Sony. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised one bit if that's the route that Disney and Marvel Studios took. But that's hinging on the Sony Spider-Verse underperforming, which I honestly do think that it's going to. Like, I mean, it could. There are people that responded positively.
I hope it doesn't. That's the thing, because they could actually make it cool if they tried.
Because I think Marvel would just do it a whole lot better.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think Marvel and Kevin Feige would do a whole lot better.
Yeah, he's definitely proven that he can, and Sony just cannot.
Just compare track records.
Yeah, you're right. I always feel bad rooting against somebody, but sometimes that's just the only logical decision. Maybe
I don't want a bunch of people to lose their job because a movie didn't make like $600 million, but I also want good movies out of these characters that I grew up with.
Maybe they'll go ahead and give Venom the hard R, and we can enjoy it for what it is. It'll underperform, and then we don't have to worry about the rest of the bullshit.
Oh man, I don't think it's going to get the hard R, but I think that it not getting the hard R is going to do the same thing to Venom that the 2-hour time mark for Justice League did to that.
Gotcha.
Like that was a studio decision. They said we need this movie to be under 2 hours so that we can fit as many screenings a day and as many theaters as possible, so that we can like have as many opportunities for revenue as possible. And that shit did not work. No, but they tried it anyways.
Yeah. Maybe we can talk about Star Wars next time.
Oh yeah, we could all. There's always time to talk about Star Wars.
You know, I love talking about Star Wars with you.
But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for us tonight on The Minute, brought to you by Movie Night Autopsy. I have been Sam.
I have been Aaron.
And thank you so much for listening. We will catch you next time.
What's up, crew? If you got any idea of what you would like for us to talk about on The Minute or on Movie Night Autopsy podcast, hit us up on the social medias. You can hit us up on Twitter at movie_autopsy. Check us out on Facebook at Movie Night Autopsy. Always feel free to email us, contact@movienightautopsy.com.